And welcome in. Happy Sunday Fun Day, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Mr. Cole. What do you have? Cole?
Oh, you know me. I'm hanging out with Mr. Tito. Mr. Nick, tell the people what you're drinking and our 3 things for the show.
Well, Mr. Nick is having his J-Lore 7 Oaks Cabernet. Well, Nikki, Bianca Belair wins the Women's Elimination Chamber. Randy Orton has returned, and John Cena has turned heel.
Girl.
We are going over WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. It is March 2nd, 2025, and this is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
She's been telling me all night long. Gasoline and groceries, the list goes on and on. This 9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell him bring another round when he's ready. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near 5th Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
Welcome back in, everybody. Happy Sunday Fun Day. If you are new here, welcome in. Hit the old like and subscribe on your way. If you are a regular, welcome back in.
Love ya.
Nikki, we are going over
In it.
WWE Elimination Chamber. We are getting into it.
Can I just 2 seconds? If you could just lower your camera or lift up your shirt. Can you just, Nick's wearing, and then I have his Cody shirt on. So, we have a theme for the show today, but, we'll get there in a little bit.
Trying to finish stories and tell stories.
We're above stories.
There is a lot
So much.
to get.
Josh, I see you. I love you. We'll get there, babe.
Yes. But yes, there is a lot to get to. But first, and before we get to that, I will let you know we have a lot on the horizon here for the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. As we come in for next Friday on our normal spot, we have a very special guest, Layla L., former 2-time women's champion in WWE, will be joining us. One half of Lay Cool, tag team partner of this year's first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Second.
Second? She was second? Oh, yeah.
Triple H was first.
Oh, yeah, Triple H.
First one. But, yeah, no, it's next week is ladies' night at Happy Hour.
So
We love our ladies.
Be very exciting. So make sure you tune in next Friday for that. We are very excited. New friends.
Making new friends.
But Nikki,
Baby.
I have to give credit where credit is due. We have our picks, and Nikki was perfect. Undefeated 4-0.
Undefeated.
Taking the title, correctly predicting all 4 Elimination Chamber matches.
Chambras.
Which now brings our yearly total to Nikki, which you're behind me for the year. You're now 6-2.
It hurts.
Overall record.
It hurts to be this good.
And this is in WWE matches.
Yeah.
We will do a separate one next Friday or next Sunday as we preview AEW Revolution.
Yeah.
Next Friday at 5 as well. We are coming back with a couple double shots.
Yeah, so we're doing, because we have Layla on next Friday, that we're going to do our preview for Revolution on Sunday before the pay-per-view starts.
Exactly. So a lot to get to. So Nikki, cheers to you. You did
Thank you,
it.
Bama.
You were able to be
It's really, I just call basically Bianca. Like, I think like Cena was a given. I think obviously Tiffy and Trish were winning. I think really it's just I pick Bianca.
Yes. So we are going to get into what our big 3 takeaways of the PLE from last night. Let us know in the chat what your big 3 takeaways are. We're going to open up the phone lines shortly and get to all your thoughts. Let us know what you're drinking, what you're thinking about WWE Elimination Chamber here.
Chambra.
So, Nikki,
Beba.
we start with, as we always do, the ladies.
My ladies.
So as we get to it, we hit it with a bang. We came out swinging in this PLE. It was a phenomenal, big, you might argue, Big Nick energy type PLE. We come out with the ladies, and right out the gate, honestly, as the bell rang.
Like, basically the bell rang, and then, boom.
Nikki.
Jade
Cargill has returned.
That pump kick slaps. The storytelling in this, because again, the bell rung, Naomi and Liv square up, and then Jade's music hits, a storm is coming, and like me and you were like, ah! Like, oh shit. And then they cut to Liv like freaking out, and she gets into the ring, and then boom, after Naomi. And Bianca, Josh said in the chat, like, give that woman an Oscar. Her screaming and crying and hitting the chamber, like, let me out, let me get to them.
Yeah. First
like,
takeaway, Bianca can tell us.
Oh my god, like chef's motherfucking kiss. How great this was, and how like the referees come in and like Jade's like pushing the referees, and again that beautiful, beautiful pump kick, and then her like closing the chamber door on her, and then she just like walks off.
A lot of great shots, great takeaways.
And then like even like Alexa Bliss like freaking out, and they pan to her, and she has like this like. We were talking about like how crazy her face looked, and she was like scared but like interested, and like maybe it turned on. Like she was just like, like, oh my god, so good, and I kind of feel bad for Naomi. It's like, oh yeah, like the entrance or whatever, but you just immediately get destroyed to not be in the match. But start off with a fucking bang.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Now, the question is, Naomi gets taken out right out the gate. So what is next for Naomi now that she's stretchered off as presumably the culprit to Jade's attack?
And that's the thing. I don't know if this is because they were on SmackDown, and I don't know if this is a SmackDown story or like a Raw story. Like, we're gonna find out because on the post show, Bianca was on the panel with Tess Rosenberg and Big E, and she was like, after the match, like Naomi was at the hospital, Jade already left. She's like, I just need to get answers. She's like, I need to close this so I can go into Mania. So I'm just wondering, like, when are we gonna find out? Because I would think like there's gotta be like, is Jade gonna come out and cut a promo, or is there gonna be like some GTV shit and they're gonna like zoom in and all of a sudden it was like
GTV.
Like Bianca all along. Like, I don't know. I said this on Friday. I'm going to say it probably until Mania, but a heel Bianca and a face Rhea, I'm here all day. Sorry, EO, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, the question is where's Naomi? Because if Naomi is the culprit or the attacker, I guess, is she off TV for a while after this attack? Where, and when she comes back, where does she side? Is it a Naomi Jade feud for WrestleMania? It could be. I could totally see that happening. I mean, if you want her to at least get her spot in this spotlight as the attacker, Rikishi had that moment for a hot minute.
Before it was like, I did it for The Rock. So is it going to be that thing? Because I keep saying, that like Naomi's being her father-in-law. Is it going to be a little bit that it was like, she did it for Bianca, but then I was like, Bianca wasn't involved because he's like, he did it for The Rock, but it was actually Triple H.
Josh thinks Bianca set this all up and took Jade out.
I know, that's a strong possibility. Like, I would not be surprised if that is the direction they go. Because again, heel Bianca, face Rhea, I'm in it to win it. I just don't know where Jade fits, because Bianca taking the belt off Rhea, I'm not gonna be mad at that.
Well, Well, Nikki,
we're getting
again,
too far ahead.
That is a part of it because, again, all the drama started and kicked off Elimination Chamber with Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca on an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
But, as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you
Yeah.
So, Nikki, Bianca Belair comes out on top.
Yep.
Winning the Elimination Chamber match, the women's Elimination Chamber match. So, what are your thoughts on Bianca winning?
I, again, called it, love it, want it, need it. She's just like, again, the last second of your video when Liv is in the roast to do the Oblivion and she just like up on the shoulder and up KOD. Like, she's so fucking strong. And it's just like, Rhea is seen as like the big bad mom, like the big bad. But like, Bianca's like not someone to fuck with either. Like, I think sometimes it gets lost how good she is and how strong she is. And like, remember when she was treated with Bailey and they had that weird competition and she put Bailey on her shoulders and she like walked around the ring and then like walked up the steps and like walked into the ring. Like, pound for pound, she's like probably the strongest woman in that division. And again, I'm thinking back to like, the her and Sasha Banks match that closed night 1 of Mania, whatever. I think again, now that Undertaker lost, like she has a streak at Mania. I just like, I just feel like she's not someone to sleep on, and I feel like her kind of running around with Jade, being around this tag stuff. I feel like people forget how good she is and how bad she is, and like, her as a heel. Because like again in NXT, I loved her in NXT. Give me that bad kind of heel Bianca.
It would be something we haven't seen, especially on the main.
I mean, no,
so it would be something different, right? Overall, I liked a lot, at least in terms of the match itself. I liked a lot of the storylines, which the men's was very similar to, where like the interacting storylines between, or interwoven storylines between the match as a whole. The way that, I think Alexa was presented pretty well. It seems like you mentioned this last night to me as we were watching it, there's some undertones to maybe Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan and that the women's tag titles there with the Wyatts being something, so that you saw a little bit of a tease between that feud. You saw all the older feuds, like Roxanne has feuded with Bailey. She's had interactions shortly there with Alexa Bliss. So it was a nice mixture.
And also, to me, I feel like, again, this is the 8th Women's Elimination Chamber. I feel like they used the space. I feel like this is, I don't say first time because it's not, but like it felt like everyone was crawling up and everyone was climbing off and everyone was jumping off and everyone was like using the cell like the guys do. And this seat felt to me like a bigger, more dynamic match than in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, it did. I mean, a lot of the elimination, everything.
It just felt big to me.
It flew.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was saying to you before we started. Like, I feel like the women's War Games match got a lot of shit, and like how it wasn't great, and how it was like Bailey kind of calling shit in the ring. Like, this felt so fluid. And so, like, I know your part, I know my part, we're just gonna do this. And I felt like it was so smooth, and that kind of leads me into, you just sort of had it up, my big Nick entertainment of the night. And again, I go fastest thought first because this just hit me. Like, it felt so good. Like, so Roxanne tries to do what? Roxanne tries to do the pop rocks on Bianca, and then Bianca kind of like pushes her, like kind of like booty bumps her backwards, and then Roxanne immediately falls into the code breaker, and then all of a sudden you see Alexa Bliss flying out of the sky to do the Twisted Bliss, and then eliminate Roxanne. I just feel like that was such a beautiful sequence of like all these women are working together and doing the thing, and I feel like we didn't necessarily get that at War Games, and this just felt so good and so fresh, and you have these people in there again. Like, Roxanne is so, like, I know she's been on the indies and new to me, but like then she had these veterans around her, and it just was like liquid, and I loved it.
So Nikki,
stamp it, babe.
Stamp it as her big Nick energy moment. Let's know what yours is, but this is Nikki's Big Nick energy moment for Elimination Chamber 2025. Nikki's
So good. It's
Big
just like
Nick.
into this, into that, and then all of a sudden Alexa's flying out of the air.
I guess it's Big Nicky energy.
No, because that's also that's a whole weird thing about your Nick is different from my
I know,
Nick.
you spell it differently.
We spell it differently because I'm like Nick, and you're like, what? I'm like, no, me Nick, not you Nick. Like Nick is also very much my name.
Oh, that's the point.
I'm surprised. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
But this is my Big Nick again. I loved it. Just felt so different from War Games. Again, I feel like everyone was on the same page here. Obviously, great outcome. I think again. I know it's EO Rhea on Monday or tomorrow, but it's gonna be.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. Well, it might be a triple threat. You never know. But let us know in the chat below, what were your thoughts on the Women's Elimination Chamber match?
Chamber.
Did you like it? Did you like Bianca coming out on top? I didn't like it because I wanted Liv to come out on top. I think I should. Went 2-2. Still above 500, though. 5-3. Still, what is that? Like 8.
Oh, don't do
60,
math.
600%.
No one wants to do math.
But, I'm only one behind Nikki, so very I should be. I will be ahead.
I was like, you're always behind me.
Ew. Man, I tried to keep it professional, and then Nikki brings it.
Sorry. Just move on.
Yeah. She normally yells at me for this, so she did it. Unbelievable. But yes, let us know in the chat what were your thoughts on this match. Did we miss anything in particular that was?
Oh, you want to do the hair whip? Oh, so loud!
Yeah, hair whip.
And then on the post show, they replayed it for her, and she literally jumped. She was like, "Oh shit!" Like now, and Joe Test, she's like, "It's like now you're the loudest." She's like, "The roughest, the toughest, the baddest." The blah, blah, blah.
Josh agrees with you on the Bianca. Bianca set this all up to take Jade out.
I think so. I hope that's the way they go. I really
To
do.
remind us all that she's the EST.
And she is. Marissa, you can't spell WrestleMania without EST. She's the roughest, the toughest, the baddest. I can't do it's the roughest, the toughest. I'm not going to try to do that. But I feel like people have kind of slept on her the past, I guess, year. Because again, like Io had the belt and then Bayley. And it's so crazy that like Bayley, I don't know what they're doing with Bayley for Mania this year when she won the belt last year. But I think it's, as much as I love Rhea Ripley, I think she's maybe, again, this is more Mania talk, better chasing. But like, I'm not going to be mad when Bianca has that belt again.
If she wins it, you never know.
You don't
Well,
know.
Nikki, from one big moment, we opened the show with a return, and the middle of the show, we thought about it. We speculated on Friday night whether he would as well, but we see the return of Randy Orton.
Looking thick. He's a thick boy these days.
After the Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens match, which we'll get into, but overall, I guess we'll backtrack. Well, first off, let's get your thoughts on the big moment of Randy Orton's return as we're in WrestleMania
Again,
season.
we talked about this on Friday. It was like, I think that it was just kind of felt that like, oh yeah, he's returning. Like I said on Friday, I'm glad it was KO won. It's the post match angle that he's going to interrupt. I didn't want him to interrupt on the actual match, so I'm glad it was like a post thing. And then like KO kind of being like out of it, but like I'll take you, and then immediately hits an RKO, and then tries to do the chair, and he's like, oh, I'm not gonna hit a chair, and then it's like, oh, he's gonna go for the punch, and then the timing of this was so beautiful of him going to hit the punch, and I think it was it PD and
7 security.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the security card. It was the. It wasn't the cards. It was the producers. It was the dudes. I think it was Petey and Kenny, because I don't think they would throw Jason Jordan there. Or was it Petey and they said on comedy, he's like Greg Helms, and like it's a formal name. So I think it was the two of them, but I think it was great that like he about to hit it, and all of a sudden like it was like stopped. Again, it makes you wanting more because they're saying this is a media match. No, but I think I'm just really glad that it was the post-match angle and not during the match.
I know. I would say because I think a one-on-one Orton KO has enough behind it. It could be a standalone match.
Mhm.
So, like, to me, made sense. I was thinking maybe he would come in the match, or well, it's an unsanctioned match, and just help out. But a little surprised, but it's WrestleMania season. You're not going in without all your guns. And Randy Orton is one of the top guns. You got John Cena's last run, which I would still love to see an Orton Cena interaction.
There's still time. I think that might be a post-Mania thing, to be honest.
So, I don't know. Let us know in the chat. Were you expecting this? What are your thoughts on Randy Orton's return?
Looking thick. He's a big boy.
He is a very big boy.
He said on Cody Rhodes has a brief little thing on WWE's YouTube channel that he was interviewing people on in his tour bus drinking Wheatley, and he had one with Randy Orton. And he's like, "How'd you get so big?" And he's like, "I just eat Nutella," which to me Nutella's disgusting. So I don't know if you could eat that much Nutella, but maybe if I eat Nutella, I would get jacked like Randy Orton.
Who knows? Well, what Sidney Crosby was just eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to prep for games, so that's all you eat.
No, I don't like jelly.
Well, then just eat the peanut butter, whatever. But overall, so that was at the end of the match. So what was your thought on the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, unsanctioned blood?
So I think all our regulars, all our kids know, like Nick and I obviously watch live, and then I'll rewatch the next morning sober. And I loved rewatching this match because I feel like I fell in love with it so much more rewatching it. Just like, again, I'm just like, I think it's the Triple H and HBK thing. And it's like, you're doing this thing with your best friend. You're going to hit each other harder. You're going to push each other harder. You're going to put on a thing. And God damn it, this match was banana pants. And it's so hard because, talking about like our big Nick energy moments, like him doing the fisherman off the top rope, like we've already called that, but like it's such a, they replayed it like 3 or 4 times. It's such a beautiful move when they do that. Like, again, like them going to the crowd, him putting him through 2 tables, again, throwing the trash can.
It was just like, it was kind of like, by the way, the brutality in this match and the use, again, you're in Canada, I get it. It's kind of thematic, but the hockey stick, like the choking out of the hockey stick, using like in trash cans, like tables were just. It was just like this is just table stakes, unintended, I guess. Yeah. But
and I love, like, I know Pat McAfee got a lot of heat, not a lot of love, how he was acting on this show, but I really do love when they threw the trash can and they're like, he just threw down Mysterio. And then Cole was like, ladies and gentlemen, that was a trash can. So that was hysterical. But again, they've been friends for so long and know each other so much. And I also on commentary, Cole was like, El Generico and Kevin Steen fought. And I was like, El Generico is retired and he's in Africa building.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah, no. That was the backstory of when he left. Again, different people went to NXT. That El Generico retired and was building homes in Africa somewhere. So when he brought up El Generico and Kevin Steen, again, I showed it on Friday. I have that framed photo literally right behind me. When I give the torch, I'm like, when family comes over, I'm like, yeah, no, it was an orphanage. Okay, it was the orphanage in Africa. But and I was like, all right, so it's so crazy how they're like, you can't mention anything. And he's like, El Generico and Kevin Steen. And I was like, what's happening? But this match was so flipping good. We were watching this morning and I was like, oh my God. Like, and it, like
the use, sorry to cut
no, please.
And if you watch any of the stuff leading up to it, like their indie stuff, they always use steel chairs like very creatively, and it was a big part of what they did on the indie, so you knew something was going to happen.
Yeah.
So they made, I guess, what's the word? An amendment to it, like a derivative of it, right? So they branched off from using that, and they got the barbed wire steel chair. And this was one of coolest moments of the night.
Yeah.
Is he sets up not only the two chairs as kind of like a table-ish, like
a bed.
Yeah, bed, like normally done. But then he puts the barbed wire on top of it. For me, this moment, again, is as extreme as it gets for WWE. And to me, this is by far my Big Nick energy moment of it.
Oh, we talked about this because I said this morning, and he was like, because I called it last night, and he's like, "Is that still your energy moment?" I was like, "Oh, it might be the barbed wire chair shot," and then he went silent on me, and I was like, "Oh, you're taking that, aren't you?"
Well, was that one or?
Well, no, we'll get there. We'll get there, but like
another one of the options.
Again, like just the selling and the story, like it's just I can't. Again, if I'm hoping you watch this, obviously, if not, go back. And also go back and watch it because again, watching it the second time, I really fell in love with it. It was so goddamn good. So then again, with what led into this, he did the drop toe hold and smashed his like cheekbone into the steel chair, and then set up the bed to do the steel chair. And then like just like they crawl out again. I love the one sequence. I think this was before this when Kevin Owens goes running this way to go hit Sami in the corner. Then all of a sudden, Sami's hitting it like a haluva kick. Like out of nowhere, all of a sudden the camera turns and it's just like Sami's leg, and then I love that the final of this was him hitting the power bomb on the apron because that's how this whole started in the first place. Is when Sami won, I believe. Someone will correct me. Yeah, no, he won. I believe off Adrian Neville. It was Neville, right? I think Pac Neville. I'm pretty sure he won the belt off Neville, and everyone was freaking out and celebrating, and then KO comes out and just fucking power bombs on the apron. It was like, wow! It was like, so I love that there was like a little nod to that, and it took two of them, and he rolled them in, and then I love that everyone was just like.
So again, the match eventually ends. So my question now becomes again, what's next for Sami Zayn?
Oh, I don't know if it's the rumor if it's gonna be Randy KO. Are you just going to throw Sami into, like, a rumor? Is this supposed to be a multi-man for the IC belt? Like, you're going to throw him back with Braun?
It seems like I mean, if Randy Orton KO is the match, like...
It's special guest referee. He's got to be... How can he not be involved?
Yeah, but why would you... Then you'd be biased because you're the referee.
Well, then, I don't know, Randy's... But it just makes no sense to take Sami and plug him somewhere else unless there's some bloodline shit and he's like sucking. Nope, he's doing something with the Roman. Nope, sorry. That like, are you just gonna plug him back into like? Don't worry, I'm today.
I know your head is in the clouds.
I am in the clouds and in the gutter. But I don't know if you're. A triple threat makes no sense, but how do you not get Sami involved in that? But then if you
chime in, he says pair him up with Jimmy or something. That's actually not a bad idea. Tag team Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn
against like the Guns and DIY for Smack. Then
for a second, I thought about AEW's Guns. I was like, the Guns? The Guns?
No, Motor City Machine Gun. Sorry.
Maybe, well,
so then do you move
Sami
move Sami to SmackDown?
Maybe. Yeah, that could work.
I feel like it's such a. I feel terrible saying that, but that feels like a.
Josh said he's got a hospital step.
Probably.
Yeah. Josh also loved the spot. I think one of Josh's big Nick energy moments is drop toe on the barbed wire chair. That was really nice. I thought again,
it's just like there's so and then like
Kevin Owens with an eye patch. Okay, you can sell me on that. Like Moxley did a couple of years back in AEW. I could be sold on that.
Don't know how I feel about that, but I don't know. I don't want it to be like, oh, you interrupted my thing, and like I don't. It feel weird.
Josh is
that's why I'm kind of.
He's pissed that Randy interrupted.
No, that's why I just like that doesn't. The Sami of now that doesn't feel. Again, I can be completely wrong, but I don't know if I see this being a triple threat. I just feel there's also feels like so many multi things might be in the works.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We've
Again,
got a couple ideas here, but if you have a different
I'm like
one,
not
just
mad.
let
Would
me
not be
know.
mad at it. Again, like KO Sammy Randy would be a hell of a match. Again, I don't want to.
Sammy is now dead by the end of the game.
Like, I don't want to be right. I just want to love what's happening right now. But I'm.
Why can't you be both?
Why not? So that little talk, I'm like, why not? I don't know.
Your heart and your head. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Let us know in the chat below where you think this all goes. What's next for Sami Zayn?
I know, but Chef Kiss of a match. Go rewatch it. It's really flipping good.
Yeah, it might have been.
Honestly, I want to say match of the night, but it's like all three. I'm sorry, we're taking kind of the women's tag match out of it, but like those three matches were hit so hard. Like I kind of want to say KO Sammy was like match of the night.
I mean,
Again, it was just the two on the
pure
one-on-one, the one-on-one. I don't know. I can't. I really those three matches were so.
Good question. Put it in the chat. What was your match of the night?
No.
There's 4. You got to choose from. If someone puts, where's Ed when you need him? TS squared at the match of the night. Just do that. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton against.
Yeah, I'm gonna also say like Nick was upset with Trish Stratus's attire because it wasn't revealing enough.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
And I was like, no, it's supposed to be the baseball jersey, and he's like, no. Yeah.
It's the greatest entrance music ever created.
Oh, let's not get crazy.
It very much.
No, don't hit it again.
No, it'll come back later on. But
maybe the way this show is going.
The way the show is going, it's always coming back.
Oh my god.
Josh agrees. He said it was match of the night.
Yeah, I just feel like, and that's what you want from your wrestling show. Like, it's a variety act. Like, this match is going to be hard hitting and tell a story, and this or hard hitting, and then you're going to tell a story, and then it's going to be a little bit of both, or then you're just going to see two meaty men slapping meaty meat. Like, that's what I want about my wrestlings. I want a little bit of everything. It's like a buffet.
Well,
you
got a little bit of everything because Josh said women's chamber was emotion of the night. Men's chamber was the story of the night. Well, Josh, well put. Great segue as let's get into it. The big moment of the night. Men's Elimination Chamber, the main event of the evening with all the theatrics that comes with it. So, Nikki, ultimately, we see John Cena coming out on top and in a shocking fashion, listen, he's headed there.
Ooh, girl.
With 1,000 lives and a good disguise. He's going to go far, kid. Nikki, John Cena.
The devil went down to Georgia, or the devil went up to Toronto. You're like,
we're
fucking fiddling.
Listen, put in the chat if you like the song or not. Nikki, like, said that she, is voting down on it.
I don't. You're like this.
Nikki said this.
Hated it.
This whole blood food, you're playing a fucking fiddle in the corner. Like, I love you immensely, and I love that your videos are fantastical.
I love you immensely, even though we don't agree creatively.
Well, that's the thing. I know Steven got upset that we were fighting on Friday, but let's spice it up. We can't agree on everything, and I think if we agreed on everything, we'd be.
Steven doesn't like me.
I know, Steven. Just because Bobby and Daddy fight doesn't mean we don't love you, because we do immensely. But we gotta keep it spicy because if we agreed on everything, this show would be crap. But fighting with you is my favorite thing in the entire world. But again, Josh, I re-listened to the portion of Josh calling in to the show on Friday. And Josh, I love you immensely. You are super right. I still don't like it. I have feelings about this. But do you want to talk about the match first, or do you want to talk?
We're going match first, then the theatrics after, because we got more coming, ladies and gents.
Oh my goodness! So my sweet little baby Seth and Drew start, which I think, to me, that felt really super fitting.
Yeah, I mean, they're the two best wrestlers, arguably, in the match.
And
well known, like, main event.
like, to me, it just made, and I loved, like, when,
Sorry. Two best full-time wrestlers in that match were Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre.
yes.
So to have them start the match.
And I loved when then Seth was hitting Drew into Punk's cell, and he's like, harder, harder, harder. And it's just like, and then his light fell down, and he had to fix like his light, which was super funny watching. If you look at the videos of like Seth, Punk fixing his pod. Again, it's a perfect two people to start. I think everything flowed. It was such a, like, I agree with Josh, like a story. Again, that was the impetus of Drew felt like what they were trying to sell between him and Priest didn't hit at Rumble, so he hits the Claymore, and a roll up is Chef's Kiss, and him being surprised and then hitting the Claymore that leads to the thing. Like, everything just felt like it had a meaning, it had a purpose. It's so focused on doing a thing. You fell asleep. I rewatched all the Elimination Chambers. I feel like this was such a good chamber match. Chambra. Burn your bra-bras. I don't know. I really love this match.
It had all the makings, right? Like, you saw the feuds that they're heading towards, right? Like, with this scenario with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre seems to be, the matchup. And again, the clouded judgment of Drew McIntyre in like his egotistical self of like, he said, what was it, Friday? I'm like, Cena, I'm going to take you out. And he basically Claymores Cena, and he's like talking shit to him. And then that's how he gets rolled
That's how
up.
Priest rolls him up.
Yeah. Again, like, the only person that kind of was like a little bit lost in this was I would say, like, Logan Paul.
No, because when Punk, he goes, again, my AEW kids, he goes for the buckshot lariat. Fucking Punk is like, no, and then hits him with the GTS. And again, it's like, oh, you took me out of the Rumble, I'm going to take you out of this thing. I really think there's a little there of him not selling a buckshot. Or not the buckshot. No, it was a buckshot lariat. Sorry. The Dead Eye is the other thing. The buckshot lariat. Yeah. But I don't know, because then that was what Cole said. It was like 5 former champions and the Maverick. So you got the spot. I don't know. I think it really felt like everything had a purpose in this match. And again,
just like the women's match, everything had a purpose.
Everything had a purpose.
So we get to the big storyline, big underlying storyline, which they've been working on since Royal Rumble. We saw the curb stomp to both Punk.
Oh, that's not the photo.
And Roman Reigns. I know. You can only do so much. But ultimately, Seth Rollins gets eliminated by a double team, GTS and attitude adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And in his one parting words, he curb stomps CM Punk, which leads to John Cena's potentially conflicted nature of ensuing the STF.
I just think that just step back before you get into the meat and potatoes of it. But like, it was such a beautiful thing of like, Punk lifted Seth to do the GTS. He hit the GTS, and then like Seth was kind of like disoriented, like was about to kind of like leaning like he was going to fall, and then John picking him up and going into the attitude adjustment, and then Punk immediately falling on him. Like, there's like this liquid wrestling. And then like you saw, because then it went into like, oh, John and Punk looking at each other again, like the stare down, and then they do the handshake, and he goes to try to do the GTS again. But you see at the corner of your eye, like the chamber is still open, so you're waiting, like something's going to happen, like Seth is somewhere, and like Triple H had such a beautiful shot that all of a sudden you just see Seth's foot.
Yeah.
Like, it was so good. Yeah, and I just, like, they've been so good lately, and I'm just like, oh, so good. I'm just like, and I think we were talking about this earlier. I don't know if that's a question. I remember getting ahead of myself. But that will lead the two of them down the road to Mania.
Right, yeah, and like, I want Punk and Rollins in some sort of program at Mania.
Yeah, no, they need to do a thing. But I was just like, again, it's like everything just had a purpose.
Did you say liquid wrestling?
Yes, no, I said
Yeah.
that. Liquid.
Josh says he loves that term, liquid wrestling.
It's just like it flows and moves, and it's just like liquid wrestling. Like everything has a purpose and a meaning, and everything just flows. And even when the sequence between Punk and Logan, when he went to do the buckshot and countered it, and they did what's like a twisty whatever that led into it. Again, it just felt so smooth, and I don't want to give Logan Paul any credit because he's a cretin outside of wrestling, but like it was just so good and smooth. You want smooth liquid wrestling.
Speaking about smooth, Josh also thought the song was smooth. He loves the bluegrass version of that stuff.
Okay.
Sing.
I thought you said music and you said smooth. I was like, are you gonna
Well, you know what I need?
It's Anna.
After banger! After banger!
Drew knows.
Yeah, no, it's just like that's what you want. You want to liquidate, just like I'm gonna do a thing, and you're gonna do a thing, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Javier's chiming in. He said the old event was really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Javier, I know you put a couple comments in the chat. We're getting to it right now about it.
What?
What?
Well, I just want to talk about the ending. So basically, Seth hits the curb stomp, and then John Cena immediately pulls Punk into the ring and puts on the STF. Is the STF? I don't know.
Yes, yeah. Well, he used to call it the STF.
Yeah, it's called Shut the Fuck Up. So I don't know what word we're in anymore once you get to the post show. But he puts the submission on, and you see him say, "I'm sorry," and then Punk passes out.
Also, he reminds me with this face, please. If anyone has seen, oh my gosh, Me, Myself, and Irene, the scene where he like takes his pillows and he gives me cotton, and then he's like Jim Carrey's got his like. He looks like the Jim Carrey, like when he
the rubber band man, like the rubber piece.
The dude from the Jim Carrey character from In Living Color. I feel like Steven's gonna get this one right. Like Fire Marshal. Yeah, it was Fire Marshal Ed.
No, it wasn't Fire Marshal Jim. And that's what he does it in Liar Liar.
Fire Marshal.
Steven! I love you more every day of my life.
He is always ready. He is always ready.
But no, because that's so Seth hits the stomp, Cena pulls him in, he puts the STF and then basically the ref calls it that Punk is passed out. So Cena wins.
Nikki, the kids are going crazy, right?
I know.
Elimination Chamber is mom and dad ball banger. See?
No,
listen, we're going at it. That's it. Listen, live the kayfabe. But yes, so John Cena ultimately becomes the winner of the Elimination Chamber match. And that leads us into an immediate arrival of Cody Rhodes for the biggest decision since LeBron James went to the Miami Heat. Nobody.
Also, 30 seconds. John Cena opened the ropes for Cody Rhodes like he was like Miss Elizabeth. Like, here, let me open the ropes for you, little lady, so you can get into the ring. Super fucking awkward. Maybe it was just me, but I was like, why is he opening the ropes?
I still never saw the value of the whole rope thing.
Well, again, when you're a girl and they're in like heels this big and a dress this small, you kind of need someone to.
I mean, you would lift up probably the middle. I would think would make more sense.
I don't know. But he opened the ropes for him to get in one weird.
I guess maybe.
Again, I feel like we're looking back at everything that happened. And it's like John Cena's being real fucking weird.
So, Nikki, yeah, he was being real weird. You might argue that John Cena, after this last run to get to 17, he's just become numb.
I love that song. No, this literally every time Nick plays a song, it's just me dancing and singing in the background.
Nikki,
but girl,
John Cena has finally turned after what 20 years it seems like. So get to it. What are your thoughts on John Cena's heel turn? Let's go. NWO for life.
I know. Again, this is why you're wearing your NWO shirt. This is why I'm wearing your Cody Rhodes shirt. I have a lot of feelings about feelings. And Josh, I literally did rewatch our conversation from Friday. I get it. I hate it. I get it and I hate it. And I get it and I hate it. And then maybe I'm too emotional about it. And I feel like this. It kind of like Bray Wyatt was right all along. Like, I just go back to the Firefly Funhouse match of just like, no, we knew you were a piece of shit. Bray Wyatt knew you were a piece of shit. And now all of a sudden it's like the Rock is like, and he's like, okay, and it turns into like Manchurian Candidate, or we were talking about he's the Winter Soldier, like he does this thing, and John Cena's like, yes, master. I don't know.
The final boss calls all the shots. You need to understand that. The final boss always calls all the shots. And finally he got it. A man, maybe not his man.
When Rock wants a man, he gets a man.
Got someone's soul.
Oh my God. So John, I love you, Josh, immensely. Crazy Pants. I still don't know how I feel about it. Again, him turning up at the press conference and just like flipping the microphone. I do love that because I don't think this is the right time for John Cena to talk.
I really can put all this. We're trying to be not really family friendly show.
We're not.
F loyalty, F respect. Look, hustle, selling your soul gets you to the top. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so Crazy Pants, and it's just like I know we talked about it, and I got angry about it, but like when it actually happened, it was just like you. Like, still, like, sort of blindsided by it. Just the quickness of him doing that low blow was quick. And then again, taking the watch and hitting him with the watch and hitting him with the belt, hitting him with a mic, choking him with a tie. Like,
Daniel
Bryan would be
over
upset.
in his grave after he just got choked out by a plastic bag from Jon Moxley.
Well, also, he choked out Justin Roberts with the tie and got fired. Also, CM Punk's attire was maroon like Dinner Bryan. That's a whole separate story. I don't know. This feels so Crazy Pants, and I don't know if I can wrap my brain about it. But Josh, hats off to you. This is bananas. Bananas. And I don't know if I like it or hate it. Or I love to hate it or I like to love it. I don't, whatever that is. It feels like a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, like to me, this makes this last run just that much more impactful. And that's Josh said it in a very vulgar way. He said Cena made me give a fuck about his last run. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if it's gonna be significant, I like the idea of John Cena selling his soul to try and get to that, and then realizing towards the end of this run that he was wrong and he helps whoever, Cody, whoever, overcome The Rock. Because The Rock should have infinite power as the final boss. The Rock is the new higher power, name redacted McMahon. You know, that's what The Rock is. So to me, like you go out there and you let him for the next few months, like you need to have a group of like legends or whatever, like they did at WrestleMania last year, like with The Undertaker, like come back and band together because they're so influential or whatever that this can't work. And it's beyond, like you have to be bigger than the WWE Championship. And that's what I kind of like about it is that like, yeah, like maybe in this story arc, Cena can be wrong and learn the error of his ways over the course of this last run. And that's a good story to tell. It's better than just, I'm here, I'm facing AJ Styles for the last time.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here, I'm facing, CM Punk for the last time. Like, you're going to have a Randy Orton.
Yeah. No, I get that. And also I loved, like, again, if you watch the press conference, Triple H's first thing he said, he's like, are we on the road to WrestleMania now? Because I know after Royal Rumble, they got so much shit. And now it's like, oh no, we're on the fucking road to Mania. And it's gonna be interesting. A month and a half. I don't know how many weeks. Someone will tell us.
Josh and I tend to agree on this. He said he's seen my. This is exactly what I saw too.
Yeah, well,
See the press conference where he said what's best for business.
Yeah, we talked about how weird it was, and he said best for business, and he's like, I feel like I was owed. But then he put in like the I don't know if people thought it was like charmy or smarmy, that he was like, oh, I'm winning this, I'm win 17 to shake the hand of the guy that wins 18.
Right.
And then again, like the conversation we had with Josh on Friday, that was like, oh, they need someone to break Rick's streak, which I also get, but also hate, but also get, but also hate, because my love-hate relationship with Ric Flair, I'm sure we all have that. But I don't know. I know it's gonna be really fucking interesting.
So that's the question: how to book John Cena's heel turn?
And again, on the press conference, them saying heel face is so banana pants to me.
Well, they know. Especially the press conference, I feel like are more for the marks too.
Yeah.
So
just yeah.
But how would you book this? Now you have, to me, and I can't steal this term because other people use, I think, I'll the 2-man Hollywood power trip. I know, and oh gosh, Javier, I agree with you. Let me find it. Why is Travis Scott there? For, I think, the purpose of The Rock's influence. Whatever he has, 300 million followers on Twitter.
He also, I agree. I don't know why he's there, but he also does the Raw entrance theme song.
So that maybe is why. Just again, social media influence, which by the way,
Stevens as well. As
we get people chiming in, make sure you hit the old like and subscribe on the channel. Who knew, as we're getting a bunch of new people coming in. So fun as we review. Let us know what you're drinking, what you think, and what your big 3 takeaways for WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. But yeah, how do you book John Cena's heel turn? To me, having the 2-man Hollywood power trip works out. I would have loved, again, the Travis Scott thing. I get it. I think it's a social media influence thing.
Yeah, he does a theme song for Raw. Right.
So, but like, I would have loved, all right, like I said to Nikki earlier before the show, like, Solo. Why not have Solo Sikoa there in some fashion? You know? And and like have Solo, after Cena does this move, Solo shows up and they could just double down, right? Like, there's a purpose because Cena's retiring. It's a big storyline. Great. Rock is at best a one-off character. So put somebody else in there in this group that you could put over as a full-time. And Solo would have been perfect because he's not doing shit and he's in the storyline. Or really anybody. But that, to me, that's kind of the only miss in this is that you could have put somebody in there that could rise up and benefit, and they still might. You know, The Rock has, like, is that going to be
what's on Friday that he's pulling this moment in? I don't know. I agree.
Or Money in the Bank, whoever the Money in the Bank winner is that his backup? That's, ace in the hole.
True, but we got obviously a couple months for that. That's what, June, July? It's usually June, but I think they pushed it. That was the July pay-per-view this year. Right. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you need to kind of tie it back a little bit. I'm sorry, what were you going to say, babe?
No, but again, just how do you book John Cena's heel turn? I think he thinks his logic is what's best for business. And the question is, how do you come out? It would be nice if they had, well, you can't really do this, but if they had like some sort of like movie where they both were in together, some sort of Hollywood influence, or just them, like, for the next couple of weeks, have John Cena and The Rock show up at the same parties, the same, red carpets, movie red carpets and things like that, just to perpetuate this along. I think that's the only way, because where he became like a part-timer and he sees, at this point in his career, how to further the business, and that Rock sees the business the same way as him, and things like that. Maybe something along those lines. Like a misguided ideology.
Well, that's the thing, because literally John Cena did the mic drop and got on a plane. He's going back to film that movie that he's working on. Like Rock said, he flew from Budapest to Toronto, and he's from Toronto to Africa. So I don't think we're going to see John Cena this week. Or he's going to cut a promo from a jet. I don't know.
Nice. Mike, we got someone chiming in. Who's there? Mike Hawks Long. Got to witness it live. Row 6 hard.
Girl, did you have goosebumps like The Rock?
Yeah. We're going to open up the phone line. Do you want to call in? Let us know your experience. We'd love to hear it. He said he will never forget last night.
I believe that's so crazy, pants.
This is what happens on the happy hour, Nikki. We get people to chime in from, it was a couple shows ago. We had someone from Toronto chime in. So, I mean, Toronto's a big wrestling haven. So, not surprised, Mike. Mike Hawks Long. Come on in to the chat.
And
Welcome in. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already.
They were talking when The Rock was talking on the press conference that was like in the same building was Rock Hogan at Mania, and the crowd made them switch babyface heel because Rock went in as baby, Hulk was heel, and they flipped it. And there was some person in whatever media person was like, did that help you learn anything that you brought into tonight? And like Rock was like, absolutely. Like he's like, you have to listen to the crowd. And I think that's why he was like, oh, the Cody crybabies and blah, 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 because everyone flipped the fuck out because, like, we want Cody to finish the story. And now, like, what does that story look like now? Again, it's banana pants of a face Cody, a heel Cena going into WrestleMania.
Rock said, cut the shit.
Oh, can we also talk about that Cody Rhodes and go fuck yourself? That was... I remember grabbing it. I was like, "What?" Like
shock moment.
And then Michael Cole said shit. I was like, what is happening in my life?
Throwing up in front of our own eyes.
I know. It's just like, again, attitude era kids that like had to deal with the PG era, and now we're kind of slipping back the other way. Every time everyone curses, I'm just like, put a nickel in my jar. Like, you're not allowed to swear. But
I'm like this. Jimmy Uso. But yeah, Nikki, it's been a wild, one of the best, I would argue the best PLE.
Yeah, again, it's only March, but like PLE of the year right now, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's early. A lot to...
But again, I just like Chamber, KO, Sami, like, the women's match, like making obviously Trish looked fantastic, make Tiffy strong, like everything you wanted.
Tiffy look strong again.
Again, it's everything you want out of a pay-per-view, a PLE. I'm sorry.
Yes, well, yeah, it was great. So Nikki, it's that time.
Yep.
We're opening it up. Phone lines are now open. In the chat, let me do this again, just in case. I didn't pin it last time, and that kind of hurt us. So we'll throw it in. Ooh, you gotta do this. Like that. So it's in the chat.
Just like that.
A little StreamYard link there. Feel free to call in. Make sure you mute your YouTube. And it will bring you into a new tab. If you're on your phone, it'll just be its own thing. Write in your name, whatever headline you like. But let us know what you're drinking, what you're thinking about WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. Nikki, it was a crazy one. But like we like to say on this show, too many things, too many drops. But Nikki, are you ready?
Always.
As I can say to my blondie, hit the snare. Nikki, when the lines are open, You never know who's going to show up.
No.
We always open up the bar to new friends.
Making new friends at our bar.
He was in the chat. He was there last night. Let's bring him in. He's going by Toronto. Welcome in. What are you drinking? What are you thinking tonight?
Hey man, I'm just at the hotel right now. My phone's gonna die soon, so I only have a little bit of time in the lobby, but I'm just excited like you guys are about what happened last night. So I'm very happy with what happened last night. So
What was the biggest? Take us through. What was the vibe? Again, the crowd looked hot as hell, like crazy. What was the vibe like there?
so honestly, the crowd went wild. Like they already went wild when Randy Orton came back. When Jade Cargill came back, they already went insane for that. But when The Rock and when Cody turned on John Cena and The Rock did the throat slash, oh, that was the biggest pop I've ever felt in my life. Like any event I've ever gone to, a hockey game, a wrestling event, a basketball game. No, that was the biggest pop I heard in my life. So that was amazing to me. And I'm just happy I was there to experience it. Like that was, to me, it's something I'll always remember as a fan. Like I'll always be like, even 20 years down the line, I can look back and be like, hey, I was there when John Cena turned heel with The Rock, because you wouldn't expect them to team up like that. So it was just awesome. It was an awesome experience. I got to keep the chair too, so I got the little souvenir chair with John Cena's face on it. So I'm super happy about that. Yeah. How was it for you guys? Did you guys enjoy it too? Like how did it come across on camera? I'm sure it was actually better on camera, because you know how the floor seats can be kind of iffy sometimes, right? You don't get the best view per se. So how was it on camera?
You felt the crowd. The crowd was so super hot, and like that's what it hints to. So when the crowd's hot, like the show's gonna be great. So like we felt the energy from the crowd. The booing, I love when the crowd boos. But literally, you felt like this was great. The show was so good.
You can hear it comes through in the marks and everything else. You can hear it. What's interesting is because so I take it you're from Toronto.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So we were talking about the stadium. Is that a retractable dome?
Say it again, sorry?
Is it a retractable dome that the?
Yeah, it is. So the dome can be opened up. I think 3/4 of the way are pretty much fully retractable, but they only do it during summertime when baseball season starts. After springtime, that's the only time to open it. So it was closed the whole night basically, because it's really cold, right, in Canada still. So.
Well, I mean, I guess what I was getting at with that is that, like, again, because usually, you know, the Blue Jays play, right? It's a bigger arena, so to get that sound and to get that type of like decibel, that volume, you've seen the whole like chart or the meter that they have is really incredible, because we were talking about how big the arena was. So it shows that it must have been really loud inside there, because the amount of people that could fit in there versus some of the for lack of better, like the European arenas were smaller and could fit less people. So to get that same energy and audio, it takes a lot.
It was good, and I'd say the way they laid it out was good too. They had a lot of floor seats, so there wasn't like a big space in between the floor seats and the arena where there's like a blank space, no seats. It was like covered. The floor area was covered with seats, so it was a good like I feel like the European stadiums sometimes they have the floor seats and they have a giant gap in between, and then they have the risers start. So this layout did a good job of kind of spreading out the crowd. It was only 39,000. It wasn't like 60,000 like WrestleMania, but it was amazing. The whole stadium was like vibing. When Sami and Kevin went to the crowd to fight in the crowd during the stands, that side of the stadium went wild. Like that was like a highlight of the night. So Sami and Kevin definitely popped the arena, and I just want to commend them on their performance. Like that was just like an amazing. Like I don't know how you can take those bumps over and over. So those guys are just on a different level. It's kind of insane, but yeah.
Yeah, no, they I mean, well, you talk about like they've been doing it for how many years on the indies, and you expected them to show up and shell out in this event, and they did, and that's like it's tough because like if you had to rank the matches because of all the theatrics that happened in the main event, and even the women's match, like to start off like the book ended it. It's hard to say like comparatively, like it would definitely be up there on any other. You probably say this is match of the night, and it's so tightly knit between the three.
Yeah, all four. Honestly, like I guess the women's tag was it was good too, but all four matches held their own. It was a good night. Even though there was only 4 matches on the card, it kind of felt like why is there only 4 matches? But the chamber matches are long anyway, so it felt like kind of iffy about there being four matches on the card. But it still ended up being a great event. And I'd say just that segment at the end, man. Like I know it was like a 17-minute segment or something, but 16, 17 minutes. But that was an amazing, like, just like I don't think I've ever experienced a better in-ring segment than that in wrestling, honestly. So that was like it's just like that right there, that picture right there. Like wow. The funny thing is that sign right there with the rock, the first sign with the blue sign with the rock, the bull, that's covering my face. In some of those clips, I'm in the sixth row. I'm in the sixth row. In some of those clips, you can see me. So you see that guy in the white jacket with the long hair? I'm like a little bit behind him towards the right. I'm in a Leafs jersey. So I on WWE's official channel where they show the little clips of that moment, I see my surprised face in the background, and I was so happy. I marked out. I was so happy. I'm like, I made the hard cam. Yes. So I get to go back and see those little WWE shorts, and then kind of see my face in that going, I made this stupid face.
I think we all did.
And I was like, everybody was jumping up and down in that section. It was amazing. So it was just literally hilarious. Like, man, I'm just happy. What a time to be alive, to be a wrestling fan, right? Like, just what did we just witness? Like, come on, guys. Like, that was amazing. Like, wow.
I could not agree with you more.
Exactly. Well, Toronto, this has been a blast. Thank you for joining new regular.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Woo!
We're here every Friday at 6 Eastern, which I think Toronto Eastern time too. So, you know.
Yeah, Eastern time. I'll definitely check out the show. I checked you guys out a few times before, and I'll definitely tune in on Fridays. So check these guys out. Awesome show, guys.
Thank you.
Guys. Peace.
Safe travels.
Nikki, making new friends.
Making new friends. Oh my God, so crazy. No, we have to go rewatch all the videos to see what that sign's on his face.
Made it.
I know. I wanted to be like, do you want to feud with Green Shirt Man? Is it Happy Days? That's always dancing at our camp.
He's just, you know, he's upset because, again, like sometimes you just want to get on camera, and sometimes people just get in front of you. There's guys dressed up as Jesus in AEW.
Oh God, I can't even think.
Sometimes you just say, you know, that a-hole got on TV because he's an a-hole, and it should
have been me. It should have been me. It should have been me.
Should have been me, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. What a night. What a night to be a wrestling fan, ladies and gentlemen. So, as we open up the phone lines, let me get through some comments here. Hey, welcome. Welcome again. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Hopefully, come on back Friday at 6. We are back here. Come on regularly. We love having new friends on the show. Andrew Brunswick, new addition to the bar, chiming in. It looked great on TV, but the sound from the crowd didn't translate well to TV. The YouTube videos from people there sound a lot better. To me, see, it's interesting. So, like, I got the energy and the vibe there through the mics. I don't know, maybe. Then again, I also have someone sitting next to me who just brings up the decibel volume of everything for every particular reason. So I may be biased to some level of extent there. So that being said, I don't know. Let's see, get through here. This is an interesting one. Javier. Paul Heyman may have to go full baby face with the Heyman guys to beat Cena and The Rock. That I actually really kind of like. I like that idea, Javier. Javier usually comes in with these out of this planet ideas, but this is a good one. This is a really good one. I like this Javier. So, as we chime in, let's see. Pick another guest. Who to go to? Eeny, meeny. Chime in. You can sit down.
I thought I was going to pop in. I ruin everything.
I ruin everything because she is not sneaky. You don't sneak around.
No, I guess not.
So, no, because I needed to do this because I needed to do the.
No, I thought it'd be, and I would. Okay, we don't have production meetings.
That's exactly why we don't have production meetings. If we did, she'd forget them anyway.
Say his name and he appears.
I believe in season. I said that to Nick earlier. It's hysterical.
Please
Doing
read
everything.
using your Hamilton Beach single-serve blender. Step 1. Align unlock icon on personal blending jar to line on base while placing onto base. Step 2. Turn personal blending jar counterclockwise until it clicks and line is aligned with locked icon. I'm taking the request from the chat. And he came prepared.
Oh wait, let me see this here. Oh,
It's
somewhere in the chat. I'm sure it is. I feel like it's a Josh.
I know they just want to hear Steven talk. So, like, instead of reading like the dictionary or like
all the way at the top.
the specific
Somewhere.
request was that he would enjoy hearing me read an instruction manual for a blender.
See, I don't think I can love you more than I already do.
Where is that one? I can't find it. That is a great comment though. I see because we can see everyone as you call in, so I can see people's reactions, and it's priceless. You know his dad. Let's just say that.
Like, Steven, the world is falling in love with you.
I'm taking some sort of.
You're like the new celebrity.
Well, God help them all.
You shut your mouth. We love you.
Oh, Steve, what are you drinking? What are you thinking? Besides how much you're going to charge Josh for these personal audio cameos? Seriously?
Yeah, I should find some way to monetize this now.
Seriously,
we do have an author in the chat.
Yeah.
And books on tape is still a thing, I think. So, okay, where to begin from yesterday? I guess number one. I mean, congratulations to Bianca for her victory yesterday. It's a shame she's not going to be in that title match at Mania.
Ew, wow.
Whoa,
Steve, dropping some hardcore stuff. Wait, now explain yourself, Steve.
Why I shall, thank you. Here's what I see. And this is going to be settled tomorrow. Maybe on Friday SmackDown, but I think it's going to be tomorrow. When Liv was pinning Alexa, and I'm not just going through this whole cockamamie thing to justify my pick from yesterday that was wrong. Just so you know.
Think you are, but I as a salesperson, I appreciate it.
I just want to see cockamamie again.
And it's not that I was up all night thinking about this.
You have to say cockamamie again. Nikki wants it.
Say cockamamie.
Yeah, it's not at all that I was up all night thinking about this instead of sleeping. No, if you noticed when Liv was pinning Alexa, I think it was, she also had her hand on Bianca's ponytail while Bianca had her shoulders down. And I'm telling you, Liv is going to bring this up tomorrow as a claim that she should be the rightful winner of Elimination Chamber and be in that title match. And it's going to result in, because I'm assuming everybody's still going to be in town tomorrow, it's going to result in a one-on-one match between Liv and Bianca, in which Jade is going to interfere and go ahead and promptly murk Bianca. Liv gets the victory. The Rhea versus Io match is going to end inconclusively. There's your triple threat. And Bianca has her WrestleMania storyline with Jade instead, as should.
But then what happens to Naomi?
Naomi will be involved with the Bianca Jade storyline.
But is she back by then and then interfering in the match, or is she active roster alive?
I don't know. First thing that comes to mind is Naomi's out of the picture until Mania, and she interferes in the Bianca Jade match at Mania and costs Jade the match and keeps Bianca's streak alive.
Interesting.
That's the way I see it. Not convoluted in the slightest. And by the end of the day tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Steve, everyone's asking you to read.
Everyone's asking what?
I don't know. You're getting a bunch of people. Lisa just wrote in the chat. Everyone wants you to read stuff.
Please read for me. Oh well.
Listen, I think it's some sort of fee from this.
A new LeVar Burton.
I still have the Blender manual. I can finish that. I can read it. Apparently, there's also French and Spanish.
See,
I don't know what they're saying, but I can fake it.
Me gusta.
As your agent, broker, whatever you want to call me, I say this to Lisa.
Price is wrong, bitch.
The price is wrong.
You get the usual 5%, right?
Yeah, I thought it was 10.
Steven, take the money and run.
Unbelievable. Steven's trying to
Take the money and run.
So issue number 2.
Yes.
What was that sorry Fisher-Price excuse for barbed wire that was wrapped around that chair?
I said the same thing to Nick, and it was like, it's not ripping the shirt. It's not ripping the skin. Not that I want anyone to be injured, but I was like, at least the shirt's not taking.
I understand not using real barbed wire. It's a big company, insurance issue, lawsuits. All right. But I mean, you couldn't find more convincing, more realistic acting barbed wire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, the ghost of Terry Funk is crying here. Right, Josh?
I literally said that to Nick last night. I was like, it's not catching. Because again, Attitude Era, ECW kids, like, it tears and it hits and it nips. And there was nothing that was pulling KO's shirt or whatever. Again, like, quick, it was a fun spot. But, like, that's not barbed wire. That's not my barbed wire.
Lisa's upset because I'm trying to get money out of this.
Yeah, it was like Play School's My First Barbed Wire. It was just, I'm sorry, as an original ECW fan, that just like get that weak sauce out of here.
Steven, I agree.
Steven, I know you're going to get someone going about ECW. As an original ECW fan, you know he's already shaking his head. I know. I see you off screen.
I'm sorry. I sat through that whole Terry Funk Sabu Born to Be Wired match with barbed wire instead of the ropes, and I don't think I could ever sit through that again because that stuck in my head. Gee, that was 30 years ago. Wow. And just last night, I saw the chair. They fooled me for a minute, and then I was like, no, that's pretty sorry looking barbed wire substitute.
Yeah, I feel like once his shirt will, at least his shirt, like I don't want his skin. I've seen we've seen enough of things, but at least your shirt's not catching on it. Yeah. Again, I don't want it to break his whole back. Again, trying to be safe, but like you could have made it a little sharper.
War Games.
Yeah, sad Axel Rotten is sad.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh my God. Yes. I agree with you, Steve.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Steve, what else you got before your last shot?
Okay, the men's match and the aftermath. I mean, he said he was gonna do it. Yeah. He said he wanted to go down this road, and it makes sense. From an outside of the storyline perspective, in that we know when the end is for Cena's run. I mean, unless he changes his mind, but let's assume he's not. So it's basically, okay, what do I still want to do while I'm here? And he's talked about wanting to turn heel, among other things, for a while now. So this is one of those things. Check it off the list.
Yeah.
It made the list. Now you can check it off the list, and he's gonna have a nice run with it.
What a great segue!
You just made the list.
This is what it's going to become for me now, setting up all the bumpers.
Oh, you're great at it, Steve. Steve, you do better. You were more. I might argue that you're involved more in the production meetings than certain.
Like maybe you and Nick should just have the show, and I'll go to bed.
I'd like certainly curious to see where they go from here. You know, and the little Easter eggs, like, you know, punching out Cody with the Rolex. That's like, oh yeah, that's the Rolex from, you know, that I don't think anybody had given a thought to for months.
Since Mania.
It was so perfect and so apropos. Like, again,
and also going back to Bad Blood, when because this is when it happened. I'm sorry, this is when it happened. Yes, the 3 fingers, and you know, did anybody think to tie it in? I mean, maybe somebody did. I certainly didn't. But you know, now you put it side by side. Absolutely, it makes sense. It's more examples of the way these shows are being set up, the weekly TV, the PLEs, etc. They are rewarding you paying close attention and having a long memory, even for the smallest details. Like that Rolex could have just been a throwaway moment in another era, and now it comes back months later when I guarantee nobody had it in their mind until Cena started using it.
Yeah. Also on the weight belt that it says Cody Soul on it, the date underneath it is the date Dusty died. Which feels
that was
feels so fitting, but super fucking icky.
That was pretty cold, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, there had to be discussions with Cody to do that, and Cody signed off on it.
Because Dusty's like, fuck it all. I feel like Dusty would be like, whatever you want to do, baby. Like he kicked the donkey's butt in WCW, like, and then trained like one of the best classes of WWE.
Right.
Like, doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, just let them cook. It may not show paying off right away, you know. Just, you know, and they're certainly not infallible, but you know, trust the process, to use another sports term.
Yeah, I feel like Triple H and The Rock kind of said that in the press conference. Is like, just let it breathe. We're gonna get there. Just let it happen. Because I'm crazy to be wrestling fans are like, it's not doing the thing I wanted to do. But everyone's like, watch and learn, babies.
It may not be doing the thing you wanted it to do, but maybe the thing it ends up doing might be better.
Yeah.
And you didn't realize it was going to be better.
Exactly. Well put, Steve. As always, bringing the heat. Pleasure.
Bringing that voice.
Bringing that voice that everyone wants.
I loved Toronto when I was there, by the way.
Stop trying to get more business, Steve. Steve, you know what? Damn it. No, now he's...
Is your little chicken tender slut?
Stop. Yeah, he's pouring himself out for business. As his agent and broker, he can't do that without my approval.
No, Steven.
This is how you get taken advantage of. This is exactly how you get taken advantage of.
Steven, flap those wings, baby.
Because
he's a real ring-a-ding-dong dandy. Thanks, guys.
Steven, we love you forever.
Yeah, I just don't appreciate you trying to, you know,
everyone
business out for free.
He's a hot commodity now.
No, seriously. Unbelievable. Well, Nikki, from Steven to his most
beloved fan.
Yeah, to his most beloved fan, arguably. This is the only way you can describe it. Say his name.
Every time.
You and that little rocket makes me laugh so fucking hard.
Oh, it gets me every time too. I enjoy it. I'm a weird nerd who enjoys little things that people do to just make other people laugh.
I love it.
My thing. I don't enjoy Steven talking about ECW. Good Lord, that man. Yes, I understand the chair, the barbed wire, not real. Maybe could have done better, but they worked within what they can do nowadays. You can't have the Born to be Wired match ever again. You just can't. It's not a possibility. Horrible match, but great match. Such a beautiful match. I love that match. But this match, I'm putting this 8th in my top 10 hardcore matches. And I know it wasn't as brutal as some matches that we've seen throughout XPW, ECW, things like that. But the storytelling within gave more fuel to the fire when things happened. It gave it that extra punch. It gave it that extra meaning. So, like for Nick, your big moment, your big Nick energy moment, that truly could be one. And I agree with you. That was an amazing spot, and for them to take it. But if we were to take that and take the emotion, the story that they have built, is it that impactful? No. I don't think so.
You're
Go
right.
ahead,
And
Nick.
this is, and I'm glad you brought that up, because this is the difference to me between like watching WWE and AEW. It's the package pile driver, the impact of each move. Like going back, like the stupidity as now we look back at it, like the Hulk Hogan leg drop was a finisher way back when. And that's the WWE storytelling mentality of that every move, every punch matters and has an impact beyond just doing it just to do it. And that's what I love about this is that, every time you use a chair, it's impactful. Every time you go through a table, it should be impactful. And like it's like even like before the show, I was just screwing around playing video games, and we were playing WWE 2K24, and Nikki's like, and I'm playing this like crazy character. I'm like, my energy's all depleted, and I beat the crap out of this person the whole match, but I lose because I have no energy. Like it's the same idea, and that's the thing. It's every move matters. Everything should take out not only energy on your opponent, but energy on yourself, and that ultimately could be what costs you. Because again, you don't have the cardio endurance of a Seth Rollins because you're Bronson Reed, right, or something like that, and that's ultimately why you pass out and lose to some sleeper hold or whatever. But that's the idea: is everything matters behind it, and it makes that pile driver, that whatever move, that much more finishing moves. Exact reason.
Yeah. And I mean, I know it's gotten annoying over the years. Like there's also been questions on podcast. Is it a finisher if you can kick out of it? Like the idea of a finisher move is in the title. It's a finisher, but we've gotten accustomed to them showing us that certain ones can be kicked out of and certain ones can't be kicked out of. And when they eventually do become those moves where you kick out of them, it's meaningful. It's within the story. And not to go too far off, but what made me lose interest with AEW was hearing Tony Khan say, we are not about storytelling. We're about giving big 5-star matches. And to me, you cannot do that without a story. And once he said that, a part of me died, because AEW to me was going to be WCW and ECW mixed into one thing. And those were things I adored as a child. Going back to that Sabu Funk match, that was like, that awoken the hardcore fan in me, seeing Terry Funk throw Sabu into wire like that. And I think that this match will do that to another kid out there who enjoys maybe a more brutal match. So I do get what Steven was saying, and I get what some of the chat was saying, but I think there's other elements we need to look at with this match when we go to grade it for what it was.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, it's again, like you said, kind of the emotion of that it lists, because in theory, like Sami Zayn's neck is fragile, so every move that you do to the neck should have that much more impact.
Exactly.
And, like every time he's gone through, like I guess that's why, and I get it's a callback to the NXT stuff, but like every power bomb that he did on the apron should have had that much more impact. That's why he's doing. I mean, to me, like on the outside, right? Like, what's a more devastating move? The package pile. But again, it's if you've bought into the storyline over the last couple of weeks, it's what he's done to him to make him so fragile to this point where every little bit could hurt him. It's almost like, and even though it was like non-kayfabe, but Seth Rollins' knee injury from way back when he challenged Triple H that year and became Kingslayer. Like that whole, like, oh my God, every time he does a jump, he's gonna tear his ACL again and he's screwed. And that's part of the gimmick, right? Like that's part of the selling of it and the kayfabe of it is just, hey, any move because I'm older, because this happened, could be my last. And
I think that's beautiful built into some stories. Like you can definitely get away with that. Just like to me, the package pile driver is not a very devastating move. It is in this day and age because they've taken away the pile driver. But go back to ECW and watch Justin Credible doing a jumping, spinning tombstone pile driver and tell me how safe that looks, because I guarantee you'll want to see the package pile driver over and over again over that. I've almost seen Tommy Dreamer break his neck taking that so many times. But that's why I love the match, because it had so much heart, so much emotion in it. And just like the very end of the chamber, the segment with Cody, The Rock, Cena, that had so much emotion in it on levels that transcend generations. I openly have never liked John Cena. It's been a thing in my friend circle since day one. Never got it. Never understood why people even like this. And hey, whatever. But I did understand that there's a fan out there who does connect with it and they do love it. So again, we go back to this. It was that table sitting with him at that conference, him saying what's best for business, him basically like that was him peeling off the first layer of loyalty. Boom, that came off, because he's telling you, I'm about to turn if you're listening. And then the lead up to it, that look, like we were talking about on our show in your house, the look that John Cena was able to do, we see it right here on screen. To go from laughing and having a jovial moment because what Cody told The Rock to his face, to that, masterful. We are,
Josh. Yeah, I don't want to go. So, Paul, did you think? So, there's been a lot of question, like the community, like the backlash. Like Nick and I were talking about this. It was like people were like, "Oh, Cena didn't act well enough, or it was bad, or whatever."
I think that's so shit.
And like, there's some people that think that like it wasn't. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought and especially all the work that he's done, like whether it's been Peacemaker, all the 17,000 movies that probably haven't watched, but like one of the 17. But still, he's gotten so much better that this like mindless drone type look on his face is perfect for what he was about to do. Like, what did you think about all that?
Yeah, because we had some friends that like was like, "Oh, his face was this," like kind of like shit on it.
Some old regulars in the show.
But I'm not mad at it. I just want to get what your vibes.
No, I can understand people doing that. Only to the sense that they got a curveball thrown at them and they couldn't hit that home run when it mattered. You know, they expected to be smarter than what the in-ring performance was being. And that's a lot of people. Our co-host Grun, my chat didn't shut up for 7 minutes after this because he could not believe it. And I told him, I was like, dude, I told you this whole thing. And all you said was, John Cena would never do that to me. Loyalty, look what I bought. I got his
too emotionally connected, Josh. He's too emotionally connected to it.
Exactly. And I feel that that's what a lot of people did when they poo-pooed all over this, because those three right there, I do not like. I cannot stand them. I understand what two of them done for the ring, and I understand what one did for music. But when it comes down to it, I can respect that moment. I'm waiting for heel Cena merch because I'm buying it. And it will be my very first piece of Cena merch I have ever purchased. and I'm going to buy it because I bought into it. They hooked me and I love it. But people who go negative on it, they can't accept that. And that's why I like you guys, because when we were talking on Friday, Nick, you got excited when I brought up the fact of heel Cena. You were like, yes, let's go. Yes, Nikki, you were against it. But when it happened, you're willing to take the ride. You're willing to see where it goes. So that's why this community of wrestling is so important, because we're allowed to see the curveballs and not hit them, but understand there's a next at bat.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's like Nick and I disagree on everything always, and that's what makes it. I want to debate you. I literally rewatched us talking to you from Friday before we came downstairs. So it's just like, I want to hear remember what we talked about, because I love disagreeing. I love let's fucking talk
that's
about
the best part.
Into it.
Yeah.
Like, I still don't know how I fucking feel about it. Amazing. That dick shot was so. I still don't know if I like it though.
Dude,
Again, we'll talk on Friday. We'll talk next Sunday. But I don't know. This opens it up so much.
The only thing that I would say about this, and Josh, I know you're a big music guy, because I don't really know much about, I've been so out of the scene for a long time. But to me, this shot that we're talking about, Cena, the 2-man Hollywood power trip, but you have Travis Scott. I get whatever social media thing, but to me, this is what bothered me is that's a shot for someone, a full timer, to be the third member of that.
No, I agree with you.
Whether it's Solo being part of it,
Jacob,
somebody who's a full timer who can keep the storyline running post WrestleMania and benefit from it, needs to be in that group instead of Travis Scott, who apparently had ridiculously, I don't know if you saw this on social media, a stiff shot to Cody, didn't pull his punches whatsoever.
No, Roxanne doesn't think he beat the shit out of Cody. I'm like, thank you.
If you guys, I'm there with you. It was gnarly. We discussed it on our show. In my eyes, in my opinion, and this is purely my opinion, so light me up. I don't care. If you are walking around with a hardcore title as if you won it in some type of match, and then you proceed to go and give a stiff shot to a man who has put his body on the line, his family lineage has put their body on the line for our pure entertainment, and all you do is dance around on a stage and shoot flames up and sing into a microphone, you need to take a chair shot. I'm dead 100% serious. If I could
you want a receipt. You want a receipt.
Yes, receipt.
Yes, I do. I want a receipt, and I would be willing to step up and give that receipt. I would be willing to not even train and just go out there. I will Sabu throw that chair right in your face so quick. Oh. Yeah.
Where's Hardcore Holly?
Yeah,
you're the new Hardcore Holly.
You're going to say to Travis.
Acknowledge me.
I wish you would. I wish you would. I wish I was on some level where this could happen. It would be fun. But I mean, those moments, if you're going for social media impressions and things like that, I understand he did the Raw song. I totally get that. But we never seen all the other bands that did it. I mean, we had Motley Crue. Did Vince Neil go out there and give somebody a tombstone? What was any of that happening? No, but you're legit giving
the tombstone. That
I
might
don't
be the best.
No,
I think that's great.
No.
Well, with AI, I bet we could make it.
This might be a brilliant idea for next show.
Let's not talk about this.
We'll talk about it all.
But yeah, I think that there, if you're going to hit somebody like that, there needs to be a receipt, because this isn't a game. This is like, a talk show host telling one of the wrestlers, "Oh, this is fake," and then getting smacked around.
Fucking choke him out like Belzer. Fuck you.
Yeah, no,
wouldn't that be funny?
Just bring through a table at least. Just give me that mania, because he's a D-bag for this.
That would work for me. That would work for me.
Josh, before we let you go, your last shot and where everyone can find you.
All right, fans. So come and find us tomorrow night, 7 p.m., where we talk about Monday Night Raw. Me and my co-host, the blue-eyed villain himself, Grandmeister, who's in a tizzy. So please come console him. This John Cena turn has really broken his little heart. Yeah, so we need all the help we can get to make sure Grun makes it out of this. Kevin Calloway, the Chaos Goblin, he's there with us. We talk about 3 subjects. One, I bring to the table, I say, hey, everybody, let's talk. Then my selfish co-hosts take over and they talk about stuff they want to talk about, but it's always a good time. So come join us at 7 p.m. on Mondays, an hour before Raw kicks off. Fridays, you can catch me. I do a ECW show, Steven. I check all of it. I watch it all. But right now we're in season 2, and it is ECW wrestling. We just started off with a banger. They opened up the show with the Dudleys power bombing a guy through a flaming table. That was the first episode. So come join us. That's 5 p.m. We are actually having our a very special guest coming on. It is Sabu's co-host on Sabu Speaks Tuesday night on the Twitch network. Go check that out. The ECW Real Sabu, I believe it's under. But his co-host, Dirty Dick Flair, who goes on the Jericho cruises dressed as Ric Flair and proceeds to cause antics. Like, he just causes a ruckus. He's going to be on our show, and we're going to watch the 2nd episode of season 2. So that should be exciting. Little inside note. That's the one where Raven comes back and him and Tommy Dreamer become tag team champions. One of the biggest stories ever told in ECW is finished tomorrow on our show, or Friday on our show. So come by, be a part of that. Dirty Dick Flair is going to be there, and me and House will be there to keep you extreme. Sunday's a house party, 12 p.m. 12 p.m. Yeah, that's how that goes. 12 p.m. We'll be there. You can come join us, and anybody who's in the household, we jump on. We talk about wrestling that happened through the week. This last one was a big one. We have big plans working with Nick and your guys' crew and Mikey. This is going to be something. This Mania year is going to be epic. So please stick with us, like everybody's stuff, and see what we're about to do with this wrestling community.
Super exciting. We love it. Josh,
Tips all the way.
Podcast. Newest regulars on the show, a staple to the show. Josh, pleasure as always. As we like to say, here you, sir, are cut off. Oh, is there a mirror? He threw that out there.
Oh my God! Look back at you, baby.
Just one more time, because
I know
So, Nikki,
baby,
sometimes
can we just say we don't? You're gonna say it, but I'm also gonna say it. Like, you're never gonna know who's gonna show up at happy hour because you have such good people and such good friends. So please.
I know we have new friends tonight, but we have a bunch of regulars coming in, and Josh was so eloquent enough to make that segue for us because I'm so bad at doing it. But now we have a perfect segue. I'm talking about Podmania. WrestleMania week. We have three different wrestling channels that are joining together to make one super awesome week of wrestling. We've got watch-alongs. We've got previews. We've got everything coming out. And one of the big components of this is going to be that we're going to be watching along in the Nick Club. Maybe myself, not only myself, but maybe Nikki joins me. Maybe some of the regulars join us in our normal in the flesh. The Firefly Funhouse may come to life WrestleMania week, Nikki.
I know. Friends supporting good things because we all love wrestling. Let's support each other.
Exactly. So from one of our friends to another one of our friends who loves it, who always brings the energy. Mikey always likes it.
Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, live iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story.
Magic Mikey is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Take it, baby.
Hello, I'm back for a second time within the last 48 hours.
Love it.
Can't get enough.
I know. I figured I might as well just pop in really quickly as I'm sitting here, not really doing much editing this video. So we are good to go. Oh man. So so Elimination Chamber. I can only speak for myself, but the consensus is within our little group of 10 at VC WrestlePod. This is probably, we gave this a minus, so this was a near flawless show. The matches were fantastic. The surprise returns, the betrayals were fantastic. And at least from me, I say this is probably WWE's best pay-per-view within the last couple of years. Now that we're in this weird transition period of things, I always end up enjoying a WWE pay-per-view, but I think this is the first show in a very, very long time where this was the show that definitely sets up the road to WrestleMania over the next 9 to 10 weeks. And now I always look forward to WrestleMania, but this pay-per-view makes me now super excited of what's about to go down both nights.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Mike, what was your big, obviously there's a lot to take away, but what was your big takeaway from the night?
So my big takeaway from the night is something that I've wanted WWE, especially main roster, to start focusing on now that we are about a year and a half away from the passing of the guard, so to speak, of who's in charge of creative and things like that. You know, Triple H has gone on record that WrestleMania last year was finishing up the storylines that were underneath the previous regimes and then setting up a new frontier for this new one. And so for me, as somebody who really dives and dissects, storylines and feuds and things like that, I think this WrestleMania has me super excited because Elimination Chamber, while it offered really fun matches, for me, what it tickled my brain a little bit in the sense of we have 4 or 5 stories that came out of Elimination Chamber that will carry on 8 to 10 weeks of development into what's going to be the matches for Mania. And that is something I feel like WWE has been missing, especially outside of, we spent the last 4 or 5 years doing Bloodline Takeover, Cody finishing the story, things like that. So now we're getting to see all these smaller stories in the women's division, mid-card division, tag team division, finally start stepping up to the plate. Now that we've got the cinematic pieces out of the way, now it's time for everybody else to have good storylines too, which has been severely missing for WWE in the last couple of years.
I could not agree more.
I mean, yeah, because everyone's getting their shot. Yeah, like they're about to shine now that I guess the bloodline storylines come.
Oh, absolutely.
Sort of that to you. I was like, I don't care where Roman Reigns falls into this. I feel like Seth Punk, obviously Cody Roman, you got Gunther Jay. I'm like, I don't know where he fits into this because I really just want to see all those singles matches.
Well, I mean, if the reports are to be true, of course, it's going to be Roman and Seth. And then, people are saying that Punk inserts himself into a triple threat. But I'm like, why cash in your favor? Why not insert yourself in a triple threat? So Cody, Cena, and Punk as a triple threat has me more excited than if Punk and Seth and Roman were to fight with. I mean, there's hatred there, but there's not a championship at stake. So, but I'm excited because this is also one of the things I feel that has me excited as a fan is that I really don't know what the final card is going to look like. Plans may change. Things might change in the next couple of weeks. But whereas last couple of years, I'm like, okay, I could predict that. I could predict this. I could predict that. Outside of our main 4 championship matches, I don't know where everybody else is going to end up. And I'm kind of excited that I don't know.
Yeah.
That should be what every WrestleMania season should be, in my opinion. Like, unpredictability is what matters the most.
Yeah.
And like, to me, if I can't predict above a 50% clip for the PLE, pay-per-view, whatever you're calling it, that's great writing, because then I have no idea who needs to win or like which direction they can go. That keeps me interested in the whole product. And that's what I think we're seeing. Like, even like Rumble, we're like, there could be like 6 people that could win it. We're like, And then Jay won it. I'm like, okay, I see it.
But yeah, like everyone, there was this last push that were like, oh, Drew McIntyre was gonna win, and he was the first one eliminated. I really love the unpredictability of this.
Absolutely, and I'm excited. WrestleMania season is upon us with main roster, and then of course, I'm just excited because I get 2 whole days of not just 2 nights of WrestleMania, but you know, it's become an all-time favorite tradition of mine where stand and delivers for NXT as well. So I'm excited to see, you know, and of course, shout out to Roxanne Perez. I'm excited because I hope her and Bailey have something at Mania, and I think or at Stand and Deliver, and I'm excited for Roxanne to report to main roster once Stand and Deliver is over, since we're coming, at least we think on our NXT team, I think we're ready for Roxanne. I think she's going to be coming up to main roster full time once this year's Stand and Deliver is over, because she's kind of done it all. And I think that, you know, whether it's Bailey or based on what happened this past week, if Jordan Grace is the one to send her up to main roster, hey, I'm okay with either way, because I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a good one. I'm hoping it's Jordan Grace, and she is in NXT. But I'm excited to see where Roxanne goes, and you know, it's going to be a fantastic weekend of wrestling.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mikey. He said you're on point.
Because we're talking about NXT, and you're my NXT guru. So what do you feel about Julia and Stephanie doing a champion brings all? I want to
title unification.
There you go, or not unification, but like
a double champion. Yeah. So
yeah.
So, I mean, if the reports are to believe from Fightful and some of the other things, Julia's a little banged up. She doesn't need to be out for super long, but just enough to make sure that she's still in one piece for Stand and Deliver. I don't mind if Stephanie, because I'm claiming Stephanie is going to walk out as a double champion after Roadblock is said and done. But what I hope is for Julia to not only get a chance to get the title back, but there's also, you know, in my little mind and just some rumblings that match with Stephanie and Julia turns into a triple threat where you add, even though she's new to NXT, but not new to the wrestling game, Julia, Stephanie, and Jordan as a triple threat would be fantastic. But Julia's walking out of Stand and Deliver, whether it's just for the NXT Women's Championship, if it's for both championships. Again, I have faith that the creative team and Shawn Michaels and the bookers of NXT will figure out a way. So, but I'm excited. They're doing a really good job, not only preparing for what may or may not come for Stand and Deliver, but I think NXT does a good job of also promoting even the TV specials. Like Roadblock is in 2 weeks, and we have 3 big matches, or at least big matches in my mind made. You have Stephanie and Julia title for title. You have Nathan and Axiom versus the Hardy Boys for the TNA Tag Team Championships. Moose from TNA taking on Obafemi for the NXT Championship. Also, by the way, I love this darker Trick Williams we're getting, where he's now just on a vengeful path to destroy Eddie Thorpe, which is actually much needed for Trick's character, because I feel like we've kind of gone plateau with him, and now I'm interested to see him as the I am the darkness, I am the vengeance, I am Batman type of character.
Yeah, little stank on that.
Which is much needed.
Exactly. You know, well, Mikey. So you talk about Stand and Deliver. Segue. You guys are doing a watch along.
I see, like he always stands and delivers.
So, as I say, give us a shout out where we can find you all as we get ready for WrestleMania. Podmania weekend with Stand and Deliver, a month of other things coming up. I know you guys are covering anything and everything.
That is very true. So, first and foremost, I would like to say it is truly an honor to be a part of Podmania 2025, given the fact that we are still fairly new. We are only 2 years old on this internet with what we are doing, but I'm so happy to cultivate this working relationship and friendship, and to listen. Of all three teams that are involved in this whole entire thing, I will say that scheduling my folks in it is going to be a challenge because there are 10 of us on this roster. So we are preparing a full BC WrestlePod invasion in some capacity, but I am super excited. You have mentioned that we're covering anything and everything during that week, which is very true. So outside of WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2, and Stand and Deliver with both watch-alongs and reviews within the span of those 7 days leading into and out of Mania weekend. We are also covering, there are way too many pay-per-views, whether they're going to be reviews or just report cards on the social medias. We are covering TNA's Unbreakable. We are doing a live watch-along for GCW's Bloodsport, which is that Thursday. That Friday is GCW's Janela's Spring Break 9, where we are going to witness Sabu's retirement match, which is interesting against Joey Janela.
You're bringing the tank top to Spring Break, right?
Yes, we are decking. I am going to be decked out in tank top the whole entire weekend because it is going to be 95 degrees.
I knew I'd get one more in. Did it?
Yes.
Is Joey Janela on that card, or did he pull himself, or he pulled himself back in?
So, okay, so to give a little bit, because we also covered GCW. So at the Hammerstein Ballroom show back in January, Joey Janela announced that, of course, they're bringing back his show, Spring Break, which is Spring Break 9 now, and he will be the opponent for Sabu in the retirement match. It has also been announced that for those who follow Lucha Libre, all three members of the Wagner family are going to also be at this event. So they are a big wrestling dynasty out of Mexico as well, whose contracts with AAA have, come up. So now they're coming to the States, and I'm excited to see that. But that's on Friday, Stand and Deliver, Night 1 of WrestleMania, watch along Saturday, Night 2, watch along on Sunday. Monday, that following Monday, Stand and Deliver debut. Night 1, WrestleMania Tuesday. Night 2 review on Wednesday. And then, we're still covering all the other stuff. We're reviewing Spring Break 9 on Thursday. And Friday, we are covering a regular TNA episode. So we are going to be busy. And then I will be heading to Los Angeles days later to go be live for the TNA Rebellion pay-per-view. So I'm going to have a busy...
Take a nap.
Get to
sleep. Go to bed.
Get some rest.
Go to bed.
Some rest. Ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working man in podcasting.
Makes me feel so lazy. We love you.
Mikey,
I can't even.
Pleasure, as always. You, sir.
Makes me feel so lazy. I just
Mikey's doing it all.
He says one thing, I'm like, I'm going to take a nap. And he's like, well, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. And I was like, no, I'm napping.
I know. He's got a lot.
Mikey, we love you immensely.
Love it. Nikki?
Yes.
You got time for one more?
I always have time for
one more. So we started this with a newbie from Toronto.
We're making new friends.
We love new people coming to the bar. So Nikki, let's bring him in.
Yes. Tell me everything. Tell me everything.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I know you guys were talking about NXT, but I heard you bring up Shawn Michaels. And are you guys into older wrestling?
Yes.
Like 80s, 90s, WWE.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter.
If Nikki could take her phone, we have a signed Shawn Michaels here. Shawn Michaels is my favorite of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He's my favorite of all time, too. Hands down. He's got to be the best wrestler, most entertaining, off and on screen. I just wanted to... I was going through wrestling YouTube, and you guys' show popped up, and I actually, this isn't my real name, but I have a little bit of insider information here. I wanted to let you guys know that I'm in South Florida, right? I'm in my mid 30s. I grew up with a kid who, and this could be fake. This could totally be fake. I'm not sure, but I grew up with a kid who said his father was actually Shawn Michaels, and he had a lot of pictures with him and Shawn Michaels, right? Not at fan meetings or anything, but at barbecues. And so, I don't know if it was his uncle or, maybe he lied, but yeah, I know a kid that says that. But I wouldn't come on here just to tell you that because that's nothing. But he told me, and we're in our mid 30s now. And if I bring this up, he'll dead serious tell me this is still true. He told me, he said his dad was Shawn Michaels, and the person he had the kid with to make my friend was Vince McMahon.
Well, I don't think that works that way.
I don't think
sweetheart.
biology works that way.
No, but he said, but that's what he told me was that Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon had a baby together.
Where that?
But then which one was carrying?
Yeah, biology doesn't work that way, sweetheart.
No, I know. That's what I mean. I'm saying that's why it's so crazy because it's like I wouldn't believe that either, but that's what he told me.
Yeah, I'd argue that due to science, it's probably not a true story.
He looks exactly like both of them though.
No, but that's not how.
Yeah, but you need
life
X
works.
and a Y.
Sweetheart.
Yeah, biology doesn't work that way. But what else you got for us?
But with everything that has come out,
No.
I didn't used to believe it. Now I kind of feel like there's totally a chance, 95% chance that those parents are.
If you got,
thank you.
So what else you got for us? Anything besides you think Vince McMahon and HBK may have
No,
been
I'm
together?
not. But that.
All right, you know what? You guys might be right. Now that I've said it out loud for the first time, I've never said that out loud before. That might be true. That he is probably their kid. You're right.
I mean, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't. We're both, Nikki and I think I could speak for my wife. Simply say I don't think that this story that you were told is true. I don't think Vince McMahon and HBK can have a kid because physically, due to biology, it can't happen. So,
right, I totally agree, and I'm glad I came on here and talked to you guys about this because I thought I was crazy for thinking that was true, but we're on the same page here. Probably happy.
I wish the best for you, and I wish you the best. But we're gonna have to let you go, sweetheart. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Very interesting.
Nope. I'm not going to entertain that. I want to thank fucking Toronto and Joss and my Steven. I love you immensely. Like, let's have real people on this.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not entertaining this. My people, Steven, I fucking love you. Josh, I love you.
I mean, I hope that
I wish you
educated someone on biology.
I wish you Ed's mother-in-law, who I fucking adore, who's like my second mom. It's like I just wish you well. I'm just gonna wish that person well, and we're gonna move on with their lives. I cannot take that on right now. But we're gonna move on. Hey, Chamber was crazy. Oh no!
But if you want to come in and talk about wrestling and not theories of friends,
nope,
their offspring.
No, I'm not
people's offspring. Very, very interesting. I mean, listen, it's been a very interesting night, but it's been a very fun night. Nonetheless.
It's been a thing. It's been I don't want to take. I'm not going to take.
We're not taking it.
I'm not going to let this take this down.
If it was creative, it was very creative.
From the bottom of my heart, man to man, fuck your story.
But yes, we move along. It's been a fun night. It's been an interesting night. Nonetheless, we appreciate you all. We are back here. Oh, and I would say that as we almost about to shut down the phone lines. Nikki, I don't shut down the phone lines unless there's a reason.
Okay.
There has to be a reason. And sometimes a regular just comes on and saves us from craziness.
I don't know what's happening.
So hit your heart, say, oh,
thank God.
Joe!
Hey, what's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. So great show so far. Mrs. Joho and Lisa and I are having bacon burgers for dinner. We're about to dive in, drinking water, but I don't know if it's been talked about tonight. I want to talk about the greatest thing in wrestling for the last 10 years. And that, Nick, you know what it is. The elephant from Massachusetts, the heel turn of all friggin' heel turns. Sorry, called it. Thank you, John. This is the John I wanted 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I love Cody's story. I do. I really, really do. But this is the John Cena we should have had a long, long time ago. And he's at this point he's just having fun, and it's great to see that.
Joe, this is Roman Reigns if he had the last year of his career. Like what we saw at Roman Reigns the last 3 years, John Cena's like, oh, I want to do that. Let me do that for my last year.
Yeah.
Try something that maybe I'm not as comfortable doing, but completely puts himself out there. And you said, honestly, like even like just the shots of this, like I know he's been in Hollywood for the last couple of years. He's learned something. He's done well enough to like this was perfect for me.
Yeah, so I am very, very excited to see what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be a night 2 main event. I don't know if that's what you guys feel too, but I don't know if anyone knows that. But that's Easter. That's Easter night. So you might have to pull yourself from family to see John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. I don't know if they're going to make that night 2.
No.
Oh, definitely night 2.
I already said to Nick, I'm like, I'm not Catholic. I don't need to go to your mom's house to eat ham. We can stay home and watch wrestling. I'm the asshole.
Yeah, I said this a week ago, 2 weeks ago on the show. We need John Cena to have 17, and I think this is how it's going to happen. And I'm so happy. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's go, John.
Yeah.
It's John Club.
John. Oh, yeah.
John starting a John Club.
Real shocker that John likes John.
Yeah. So let's go, Cena. Very, very happy about this. So I just wanted to call in. Oh, deal with it. Deal with it. Nick, I will catch up with you later about our conversation earlier today. Thank you for having me, guys. And great show as always. I'll talk to you soon.
Pleasure.
Tell your wife I love her.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Ho.
Joe, we love you.
Bringing us out. Well, Nikki, it's been a fun one.
We've been here for too long.
Well, we're getting out of here. It's been a blast. Thank you to everybody. Let us get out of here the only way that we know how.
You're not bad.
Because they change every time, and then we have so many drops in the show.
You do too much.
Yeah, it's just
Scrolling,
it's all for the love of the game.
scrolling.
It's all for the love of the game. But from our not so CCO Triple H taking us out.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed. Banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
Able to do that tonight. Another night without incident. Getting through some last comments. Our buddy Toronto. Love your guys' show. Good vibe. All the vibe. He's at the bar. Better than NHL games right now. Well, thank you. Much appreciated. Hopefully catch you on Friday with our very special show on Friday. We are back here this Friday with former two-time WWE Women's World Divas and World Divas champion, Layla. Tag team partner of this year's Hall of Fame inductee, Michelle McCool. So that'll be a fun one. So we hope to catch you this Friday, March 7th. Who said February? March 7th.
Or March.
6 p.m. Eastern time, whatever that correlates to you locally. So we love having you. Before you head out, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, you do not have to go home.
But you can stay here. Goodbye.